A strange match. The only winning move is, well, pinning your opponent before anyone gets seriously injured. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blog who always tells it like it is. It's been a long time since the Thanksgiving adjacent tradition had no Survivor Series matches. And if they're instead gonna stick with the match they yoinked away from NXT, they might as well retire Survivor Series and just call it War Games from here on out. Let's face facts, folks. These matches are not going to be as good as we think they will be. And probably not as good as the ones NXT had for the past 5 years. Not that the competitors are anything to sneeze at, mind you. I mean, the Bloodline versus the Brawling Brutes with the Scottish Warrior and the Prize Fighter. Bayley and Bianca having, hopefully, one final confrontation as captains. I just don't know if putting it in front of a crowd 30 to 60 times bigger is going to make it all that great. Add to that the fact that there are only 3 other scheduled matches, despite 2 being for titles, doesn't exactly bode well for the PLE. I think it would have been better if the OC and Judgment Day had a mixed survival match instead of a one-on-one between the 2 leaders. And we all know the Triple Threat is another attempt to tell USA Network that their US title can be the primary title on Raw. Might even work given the belligerence, but... And the women's title? Please. Well, we'll see what happens when the WWE plays Global Thermonuclear War on their second longest PLE. Here are my predictions for Survivor Series War Games. Start with the match of least consequence. AJ Styles versus Finn Balor. Man, AJ is really trying to hang on to relevance, isn't it? Trying really hard. Of course, bringing back Gallows and Anderson after 2.5 years away helps considerably. The OC may be one of the best tag teams worldwide of all time, and that can only hurt Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio. And having Mia Yim back can, to a point, counter Rhea Ripley, but it seems to me that unless AJ gets a hold of a title soon, the WWE is just using him as a pusher. The Judgment Day is the unfortunate future of the WWE factions, and the first ever Universal Champ is leading it to a higher ground as they wait for the Bloodline to lose their grip on the titles they want. It'll be a decent match, but the winner will be Finn Balor. SmackDown Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi. Look, Shotzi is an entertaining competitor, but it seems to me the novelty wears off as soon as she takes off the combat helmet. She's not really the loose cannon she was in her NXT days. Yes, she's had some success in the ring, but having to face the baddest woman on the planet to get the title? That's a bit out of her league. And now with her running buddy Raquel Rodriguez out of action, how will she keep Shayna Baszler at bay? This is essentially a 2-on-1 between a decent wrestler and a pair of MMA vets who will do anything to keep the rowdy one with the belt on her shoulder. It may get close at times, but sooner or later Baszler will distract Shotzi or the ref, and Rodriguez will have a fellow cast member in the ward. Winner and still champ, Ronda Rousey. Triple threat match for the United States Championship. Seth frickin' Rollins versus Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley. You know who I feel the most sorry for when it comes to this feud? Mustafa Ali. It seems everyone wants to beat him up to show the others up. If there's any justice in the WWE, Ali will be added at the last second to make it a fatal 4-way. Doesn't mean he'll win, mind, but it would be justified. There's little doubt that Rollins is to Raw what Reigns is to SmackDown. El numero uno honcho. The difference is that Rollins earns the respect that Reigns just takes for himself. Theory is trying to grab some respect as a true competitor, and Lashley is trying to regain the respect he lost when Lesnar made him his bitch at Crown Jewel. And truth be told, Any of them I can see as champ after tonight. But I think Ali will cause chaos, as it's no DQ and all, to both challengers, and Rollins will sneak in a curb stomp like someone trying to take the last PS5 on Black Friday. Winner and still champion Seth frickin' Rollins. Women's War Games match. Team Belair versus Team Bayley. We all know the rules to this match. One of each team starts in the dual ring steel cage and fight for 5 minutes. Then the team with the advantage sends one member in, followed by the other team 2 minutes later. Every 2 minutes it alternates until both teams are fully in the match. Then the match beyond begins, and the only way to win is by pinfall or submission. And I can see it going either way, because both teams have a mix of brutality and agility needed to win this kind of match. Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Kai and Sky have the quickness covered. Rhea Ripley and Nikki Cross are vicious to a fault. Mia Yim can be if given the chance, and of course, we all know why Becky Lynch is the Irish lass kicker. And Bianca Belair and Bayley have been feeling each other out since SummerSlam. They'll counter each other pretty well. But the X factor is that Bayley's team has the advantage. And usually those that have the advantage don't do well in war games. Just ask the Four Horsemen how they did in their signature match when they win the advantage. Plus, I really don't think Bayley wants to be part of this as much as her teammates because of that, and the fact that we really want this rivalry to end. I think Belair will pin Bayley for the victory. Winners are Team Belair. Finally, men's War Games match. The Brawling Brutes, Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. It might take until Royal Rumble for the Bloodline to finally get sick of Sami Zayn, toss him to the curb and set up the KO Sami versus Usos title match we've been craving. For now, though, we have to make do with Jey Uso and Zayn not trusting each other, which will lead to funny interactions with Jimmy and Solo Uso when they're all in the ring. Oh, you honestly think Roman is going to get in any position but last? Meanwhile, Owens will continue to throw doubt at the Bloodline while Team British Isles do what England and Wales couldn't do in the World Cup. Beat the snot out of the Americans. But then again, that advantage thingy. Sheamus pinning the Usos might have been the worst thing to do for his team. Plus the fact that Reigns is going to stay out of the melee until he's needed to break up a pin or submission move. Yeah, he might get Brogue and or Claymore kicked. He might even get a KO stunner. But unlike his tribe, he's had time to relax and will go into a full boil once pinfalls and submissions are allowed. A Superman punch there, a spear there, and the exhausted team will stagger. It would take Sami Zayn trying to fake the big credit and take the big credit and pin someone Reigns put down. That might lead to their defeat, but certainly Zayn's smarter than that, right? Right? Winners of the Bloodline. Those are my picks. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm having my computer play tic-tac-toe by itself to see if it'll learn. Ooh. I'll have to see if any Black Friday sales are still going on. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blogger who always tells it like it is. Stay safe, pray for peace, and I'll see ya!